What's going on, everybody? Good to see you. So I am going to kind of get this out of the way. A few things I want to address before we jump in straight to the stream. Um, I really don't know exactly how to address all this, but it's very simple for me, and this is why we're going to react. Part of this is going to be reacting to this today for this exact reason. There's just a lot of people who think that this is about money. I just think that is so crazy to me. I don't know how much more clear I have been about the things I could do for money. I'm not trying to make that a big deal because it's not. I did not talk to Lori to make money. I don't think you guys understand that. It would have gone either way. I asked to interview her. It changed into a live because of her request. And I said, well, frick it, then we'll just do it. We'll do it live. We'll do it live. Frick it. So I hope that's understandable to everyone. People are going to keep their opinions. That's fine. But it's just a narrative of like, this is scripted. We made this up. It's insane. The world of rumor is insane. So whatever. If you guys think that that's what it is, okay. I don't know what else to tell you. Don't even know what else to say. So without further ado, we're just going to get into this today. Again, I think this is a great point where I've told you guys, for me personally, this year is about kind of dumping out a lot of the rest of the things that I thought were important to do to heal correctly and properly. And again, sometimes that part of that healing is going back to your pain and having to redeal with some certain things. Part of that for me was, I guess you guys aren't on my stream here. You're not here. There's all your comments, your beautiful comments. But part of this has always been that I want to get this off my chest. And with that being said, sometimes you go back and you have to re-break a broken bone to set it correctly. That's what I feel like this is it. So yeah, I don't know how much more clear I've been about that. I wanted it to be empowering to other victims as well. And the people I've talked to definitely felt that way, which is beautiful. And that's a blessing because they felt that this whole thing was, what would you say if you had an opportunity to say it? Because not everybody's going to have that opportunity. A lot of the victims who are part of this, who are affected by this, are not going to be able to talk to Lori. So part of it also was kind of giving people back, maybe just to know that Lori heard something. So today we're going to talk about this interview. We're going to listen to it. There's going to be the cussing if you guys have watched it or not. We're going to watch part 1 and 2 back to back. Obviously, I'm going to give you my thoughts and reaction. I'm wearing the same exact shirt. That's hilarious. Did not plan that. And we're going to get into it. So I'm going to give you my thoughts and tell you how raw this really was as we go on through it. And again, I didn't even tell everybody it was going to be live. I think I did it as it happened. I don't know. As we went live, I just put it up there. I don't even think I told really anybody. Maybe within 30 minutes. So anyway, let's go for it. Got a lot to get into. It's going to be a little loud since this is our setup, but I'll just show it since I can't get you on the camera. But I just want to pause and just address the fact that people thought I was talking to AI, which is hilarious to me. That is not AI. That's Lori on a jail call. And I tried to get her on screen and it didn't work because the computer refused that screen. So I had to do it on the phone and I had to work with what I had. That's just what it was. There it is. That's her. So that's what the camera sees. Okay. Can you still hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you now.
Okay. All right. Well, obviously, I've really thought about what I want to say to you for a long time. When I was in the hospital, I felt like I did not say what I needed to say to you at all. And I felt like I let you interview, right? I just want to say, just so you guys understand the type of comments that we get on stuff like this specifically, is that people really will come up with anything. Somebody, I guess, thinks that this was all scripted out, that I scripted this out, pre-planned this with Lori. We're all on one page and we're trying to make content. That's what happened. Yeah, guys, I called her and said, hey, let's put a show on. I'm going to cuss you the F out. And I'm going to tell you how much of a crazy nut I think you are. And she's like, yeah. We did a back and forth. And I was pretty shocked with what you said. And I cannot wrap my head around how we went from the life we had to where we are now. When I analyze that interview, it almost seems as if you're saying this was God's will. And it almost seems as if you have just created a whole world, and where what actually happened in court isn't, you say, didn't happen. So you need to understand the level of frustration and confusion that would cause. Can you, from the last conversation we had, and then I came to the trials, so I just want to start there again. I came to the trials. I sat behind you and watched what was being said. I told her that so she understood I was arrogant when we first talked. Not that it was that I wasn't right. I think it was, I needed her to know I know the facts. So we're not going to have not even going to have a conversation where it's not factual. Also, let's just be clear, if we were, and I know you don't believe it is AI, but if it were AI, it would not be the loudest background ever. And I could not fake this. Do you guys someone get me to the effing Oscars if this is AI? Do you think that I have enough feeling to get all of my feelings out to an AI Lori, that I would even spend my time speaking to a fake Lori that thinks exactly the way she did? So two things would be true. Number one, I'd be the best actor you've ever met. And number two, the AI would be the most advanced AI that has ever lived, because it had exactly copied what Lori would say. Just so I don't even know. That's it. That's the last thing I'm going to say about the AI.
The
evidence. And that changed my perspective.
You watch the state's evidence. You watch the state's evidence.
You're hold on. Okay. So you're telling me there's a whole nother world where what happened, that what you say happened, and that what they put on was fake? What do you mean?
What they put on was their narrative, correct? Were they there? They weren't there, so they don't.
Okay, but I wasn't there when Hitler was alive, but I know that. It's just so stupid to just the thought to say, oh, you weren't there, so you couldn't know the truth. You had to be there. You had to be there and see it in person, or it doesn't count. Okay. From historical record and writing, I didn't know I wasn't there when Jesus was there, but there's historical writing and evidence of those things. And now there's geolocation, text messages, your text messages. Do you think all of that was fabricated? Is that where we're at here? Is that what we're at? Like when it comes down to like, because it contradicts what you told me, and I had not seen the trials. So what that trial showed me is it contradicts what you told me in our interview. And I gave you the floor and said, go ahead, Lori, just tell me what happened. And the state's evidence is mostly your conversations and you and Chad giggling and all the little things that you two said. Even yeah, that was the hardest thing. If you guys remember, there's the video of us. We watched it live together. It was part of the trial, and it was the backyard conversation where they were right before Chad was arrested. The conversation that they had was the guarantee that the backyard project would be, she said something to the degree of Alex, that Chad talked to Alex, who's dead. And the conversation became, oh, well, Alex guarantees that we're going to make it out of this and be safe, and that the backyard project's going to work and things like that. So basically the backyard project's the backyard because that's what she was in jail for, and they never wanted them to find the kids. That's why I said what I said, because they were giggling the whole time. And that was harder to hear almost than anything else, because we knew what the context was. Everybody knows what the context was. She said that's not what it is. In person. So do you understand how that doesn't make any sense? And how that would leave swear jar. It's coming. What you said to be completely dismissed by me. Because I listened to you. So go ahead.
I totally understand what you're saying and where you're coming from. I get it. I don't think you understand or can comprehend maybe what the types of things that are presented. So you can present a text message from me. You have no idea what the meaning behind that text message is, right? But the state put on an interpretation of every single text message as if they knew what I was thinking or what I was saying or what the other person was saying or thinking. So a lot of things can be misconstrued into something totally different meaning. For example, right? They did the whole thing of the Nephi thing in trial, right? That I said, we're going to be like Nephi, which is like courageous and strong. And they turned that into something completely different and said that I ordered someone to do something with saying, let's be like Nephi.
Well, that's what Nephi did in the first book of Mormon. Yeah, so let's go into that story real quick. I don't know if I said it in this. Maybe I did. Here's the explanation. Pretty quick into the Book of Mormon if you read it, if you're LDS. One of the first things that they talk about is Nephi is a prophet, and there's a guy who steals the gold plates, and he gets told by an angel, which they say was Alex, by the way, in the Book of Mormon. So I just want to give you context to the whole picture here, is that they told Alex, you are the angel that appeared to Nephi in the Book of Mormon. That was in their circle before this all went public. And so there was an angel that came to Nephi because the bad king, but I don't remember his name, he had stolen the plates, which was the Book of Mormon at the time. I'm sorry. It's hard for me to remember exactly what it was, but he stole the Book of Mormon, and that was important. And so the angel gave Nephi the green light to behead him. I just want that to be understood in context. And again, when they brought up Nephi, it was in context to Charles and Alex, and she's trying to walk it back. So that's why I said what I said, because we all know what it means, but she's saying it's misconstrued. And story.
Okay,
right?
He did a lot of other wonderful things too. There's 4 books of Nephi. So he did a lot of other things. He was courageous. He was strong. He said, I will go, I will do the things the Lord commanded. It was not an order to do anything.
What was the Lord commanding you to do? Do you understand? So let's put that in context. You say, I'm going to go do what the Lord commands us to do. Then Charles is killed in self-defense. I'm sorry, I don't believe that at all. You need to understand that. I just need to make that clear as day. Like, that doesn't make any sense.
You can believe whatever you want to believe. The truth is the truth and stands for eternity. So one day,
does that not worry you? Does that not worry you to think that way when what just happening is anti-biblical? It's not even biblical. The stuff that you're saying, it goes against the New Testament and what Jesus said.
What exactly have I done against the New Testament that you think?
How about the relationship with Chad, with Charles alive?
Okay.
How about Z's? Okay. Z's doesn't mean ZD. Z's means something very specific. You know that didn't happen to Tylee. You know that's not what happened. And so to sit here in a realm and where we have a conversation and you tell me that this is the truth and you swear by that, and you tell me you're not different and you're suffering for these things, you're chosen by God, you're doing exactness of what God told you. Do you understand how that just doesn't, the stuff you're saying and the actions and the stuff that they presented doesn't make any sense to where you could say, yep, right out of the Bible, she really is following Jesus Christ. It actually goes against those things. And if you want me to really get into those details, I will. But I think we both know what I'm talking about. And I'm not trying to be confrontational. You need to understand how that doesn't make any sense. So yeah, that's interesting that I said that. I mean that because the confrontation part is what's going to cause her to leave. So I kept assuming almost the whole time that she was going to hang up the whole time. I assume she's just, I'm waiting for a click off. I'm waiting for her to quit on the conversation because at any point she could be triggered to that point and say, I'm not doing this, and just hang up. So I think that was another thing is at some point I completely lost all of it, any kind of patience. You guys know that later, but in the time, it's interesting to realize that I'm still trying to make sure I don't lose her before I say what I need to say. So you need to, if you want to have an opportunity to explain, you don't have to, but if you want to have an opportunity to explain how you think that makes any sense and all the spiritual stuff that you guys were talking about, it's bananas. It's bananas. That stuff is not in the Bible. So are you guys above the Bible? What is it? What is it with this whole thing that you've excerpted the Bible?
Sorry.
Why is that funny?
It's funny because
this is where I think I probably lost it all. Again, there's multiple times I've said, you're blaspheming God. And she laughs. And what do you do? Again, people think that I had this conversation because I wanted to get through to her. I just said my piece. I needed to say my piece. That's it. It's really all I knew was going to come out of it. I knew she wasn't going to agree, but it's still crazy to watch someone laugh at you say that you're blaspheming God.
Okay. I understand where you're coming from, honey. I do. I get it. I understand what our life was to where it's become and all this craziness. Did you ever read Job, all 42 chapters?
Yes. I read Book of Revelation, Job, and the New Testament. Yes.
We can talk about all that. I would love to go into the details of it. Okay?
What does Job have to do with making decisions? Job didn't make any decisions. He didn't make a decision.
I'm going to tell you what it has to do.
Okay, so Job, I just want to make this clear for anybody who hasn't read their Bible about Job. Job was a man of God who there was a conversation in heaven where the devil basically says, I'm going to destroy him. And God's like, well, he's so faithful. You can't do anything to make him turn away. And so the devil was given a certain amount of leniency to destroy Job's life by going at him. And even though Job has as low as you can go in life, he never fully turned away from God. So that's kind of the whole point. So she's comparing herself to someone who has lost everything versus killing and being the money stealer, like being evil. She's saying that she is the opposite. It was not her fault at all.
You want to hear?
Okay, go ahead.
Okay. In 2017.
Second she said a year, I knew this was going to be some BS. The second a year came out of her mouth.
Right? I was redeemed by Jesus Christ personally in 2017.
Okay, stop and just, what does that mean? You were redeemed? Because if you believe in Jesus Christ, you are under his blood, he paid for. So what do you mean you were redeemed? Correct. What does that mean? What do you mean you were redeemed?
He came personally to redeem me at that point.
So you saw Jesus Christ, who lived and died and paid for the world's sins. You met Jesus.
Correct.
Okay. It's so hard to watch because I know I'm literally talking to somebody who's making it up as they go or has made it up a long time ago. She never has met Jesus in her life. Go ahead. I'm listening.
And at that time, he told me, will you do this job if you become like Job? Will you do this job if you lose everything? I need you to do something for me.
Okay.
He called me by name, put his hands on my head, and said, I seal you mine, and I need you to do something for me. Okay? At that point, so what I can tell you now, where we've got to, without even going into all the details, where we are now is, let me tell you how I feel about it, right?
Okay.
I'm still my same.
I just realized how much bouncing. Can I just go back like 5 seconds? Listen to the bullshit coming up with the idea, but you're still talking. Watch this. Ready?
Do something for me.
Okay.
He called me by name, put his hands on my head, and said, I seal you mine.
Okay, watch this.
And I need you to do something for me. Okay? At that point, so what I can tell you now, where we've got to, without even going into all the details, where we are now is, let me tell you how.
This is so crazy. I grew up like this, bro. I grew up with this type of infuriation of patience.
I feel about it, right?
And at this point, where we are now, let me tell you where we are today. Today is the day of today. And today is the day I'm going to have this conversation. This conversation is going to happen today. That's it. That's what I'm talking about. Okay.
I'm still my same normal self, but let me tell you what the difference is, okay? I know that Jesus Christ, the Savior of this world, knows everything that happened.
Yes.
Okay? I know that Tylee knows everything that happened. I know that JJ knows everything that happened. I know that Charles knows everything that happened. I know Tammy knows everything that happened. I know Father and Mother know everything that happened.
Who's Mother? Okay, just slow down. Slow down. Yeah, right. Slow down. It said nothing. Said nothing with a ton of words. So Father, Mother, Tylee, JJ, Charles, Tammy, everyone knows what happened. I'm not going to tell you what happened. but they know what happened. I know what happened. You are confused, but I understand why you're confused because it looks pretty bad. But I'm not going to tell you what happened. I'm just going to let you think whatever you want to believe because it's okay to believe it. It's okay to think that way. Do you see what I'm talking about? This is like the highest level of manipulation you can receive. And I mean this with all respect in the world when I say this to anybody who believes that there's a heavenly mother. There is not one scripture in the Bible at all that refers to a heavenly mother. Not one. So I just want to put that out there. That's why I asked the question. Who are you talking about? Because who in the world is heavenly mother? There's no biblical evidence that God has a wife. So I just want to put that out there. I want you to be able to say your piece. Just give me a second because you're going so fast. I can't even.
Okay. I'm sorry.
Let's slow down.
You know what I talk about.
No, it's fine. Just slow down and let me finish. At least let me respond to what you're saying. Number one, let's just go back to evidence. The timeline doesn't even make sense.
You're earthly evidence. Okay, you're on whatever the state said.
I'm on Earth. Listen to this part. This is one of my favorite things I said to her. Planet Earth. Yes, I'm here on grounded on Earth.
I agree with you.
Right.
I'm with you on Earth. Okay.
No, you're not. No, the hell, you're not on Earth. You are not on Earth. That's why I said that. We're not on the same planet having this conversation. Not even the same planet. I don't know if we're on the same planet when it comes to this was what they're showing. Go ahead.
The state in a high-profile case is like the behind the scenes of a movie. It is.
No, it's not. No, it's not. No, it is not.
It's not real.
What move? Okay, who? You're telling me they made up everything.
They made up
So let's just go back to this point because this is where I'm going to get at. Okay. You get with Chad, you move up there, you tell me you're coming back in 2 weeks. Do you remember that? I stood outside my work and you said, I'm coming back in 2 weeks. I'll be back. I believe that because you had come back and forth.
Right. We were going to come back.
You never came back. Let's start there. Then I find out you're married to some random guy that I didn't even know existed. And then my siblings are missing. You go to Kauai Beach with your new husband, which I felt like was a slap in my face because that's where our family was. And you took him there. And then on top of all of that, you tell me this is all God's doing and that everything's misconstrued and the media's against you and the police are against you. Do you understand that that's not like Job? Job was sitting in his house and he got crapped on because God allowed Satan to go crazy. He didn't run.
Okay. Stop right there. Let me ask you a possibility.
Ask me a possibility. Let's go ahead.
Let's ask you a possibility
go
question.
Ahead.
If Jesus asked me if I would be like Job, in the very first chapter of Job, what happens? Lucifer goes to heaven to the council and he says, look at your guy Job down there, right? He's so great. He's never going to.
He's so dumb. I'm going to be honest. It's not funny. She's not funny. It's the fact that I have gotten so past where I was as a kid and as a human. I've just changed so much. And so I can just really see the way she manipulates me. And I didn't know until I was older and saw it. But like, listen to the absolute hamster wheels that go on. It almost blows my mind to actually listen back to it and be listening. Like, hearing her talking to me, I guess, from the third person is weird.
Do anything against you, whatever, but if I take everything away from him, if I make the whole world go to crap, his whole world go to crap, he's going to turn on you.
But that's not what happened. It was all action.
Let me ask you a question.
How many questions have you asked me? How many times have you asked me a question? So instead of me saying fact, it's either fact or not in this scenario. This isn't an opinion thing. This is a factual thing. I've asked you multiple times to answer, and I tell you, that's not what happened. Let me ask you a question. Hold on. Let me throw you off real quick. That's pretty much what she's saying every time she asks for a question. Didn't get crapped on.
Is it possible? I didn't. Is it possible that Lucifer went and had the same conversation with Father and Jesus about me in 2017, and then in 2019 I got crapped on
hold on.
Just ask you a possibility question. Is it even?
But that's not what the conversations that you were having with others off of the evidence that they show too. So let me explain this to you. That's what.
Let me ask if the Bible Bible could repeat itself now in the last days. Is that
could it repeat itself?
Is it possible?
Anything. Okay, so if you want to go to what's possible, God can do anything. So that's not even a conversation that we need to have. Okay. That's my number one thing I don't like is being pandered to like a dog. She did that shit all the time. Oh, good boy. Yeah, shut the F up. Do not talk to me that way. I don't like the way you're pandering to me. We're having a conversation. I don't like that. Listen, God can do anything. That's what we agree on. The actions behind what was done was not godly because they showed the trails. You need to understand, I don't care what the prosecutor was saying or what the evidence. I looked at what was being said in your group. That's what contradicts everything. You need to understand, I'm not going off of my feelings. I'm not going off of all this other stuff. Your conversations with Chad and Alex and your Melanies and all the people you were in on this group with, the stuff you guys were saying is so not connected to the Bible that it doesn't make sense that you think Job got crapped on by Satan, but everything that happened with Charles, Tylee, JJ, and Tammy was action. Who shot at Tammy? Who all of a sudden Tylee just kills JJ and kills herself? Do you think that I buy that? I don't like that you think that I would buy that. I'm not going to eat bullshit off a plate. I don't believe that for a second. Tylee would never do that. So why would you think that we would have a conversation? I sat there and listened to you trying to see, is there even an ounce of truth in what you're saying? It all had action behind it. It didn't happen to you. A tornado didn't come through and give you boils and have you suffering. You ran back to Kauai with Chad.
Okay, was that the last place where we were ever happy?
Why does that matter? You took him. Fuck that dude. You took him to where we were happy. Does that not feel fucked up? Does that not that makes no sense that you take a new dude to where our family was? Is that not crazy to you?
So insane. It was my place to go for my peace. It's the last
your peace. It was the last, okay, so your peace cost hundreds of people theirs for a long time, affected their lives forever because you wanted peace. Why wouldn't you have ever told me if this was the truth? Why didn't you tell me this? So crazy to think that was, I don't think people understand that. Like, imagine you have a very special place that's special to your entire family, like, I don't know, a vacation spot, whatever the case is. And then specifically you find out that that's exactly where your mom, who murdered your family, you don't even know they're murdered, takes their new husband where your family was happy. So really she was saying, this is where I was happy and this is where I wanted to go. It's nothing to do with anything about herself. That's why I said that. And she needed peace. She needed peace, even though she killed everybody and she wanted to run away. She needed peace. That's why I said that. So insane. This is the perfect way to diagnose what a narcissist looks like. They don't even think about anything else. They think about themselves. That is it. Where was that?
I wanted to tell you. I did want to tell
So what stopped you? What stopped you from telling me that story?
When all of the chaos went crazy.
What chaos? You were the chaos was created. It wasn't just, oh my gosh, it blew up. You didn't tell me anything. So if that was true and you would have said something and then you would have told the police the same thing, does that not make sense? Why would you be in jail if you didn't do anything wrong? Does that make any sense to you? This isn't martyr. This isn't prophet suffering. Do you not? I don't know how much more to say that doesn't add up.
I understand how you feel, and that's how Job's friends felt at the time.
No, you know, Job's friends were said, you must have done something wrong.
You must have done something wrong, or you wouldn't be in this position. That isn't necessarily true. It isn't necessarily. So
you're telling me that a movie was created just to throw you in this position for what? What is the ultimate goal here?
Okay, I'll tell you what it is. Jesus and Father, when they came to me in 2017 and said, okay, I am going to use you as an instrument in my hands to divide my church. They call
what
it the
church?
Great Divide.
What church?
Okay. Their church.
Who's their church? You're part of the LDS church and you thought that was the true church. What church are you referring to?
I'm talking about all of Christianity. Okay?
Oh, it's so infuriating. It is so infuriating to listen to her talk. It's insane, actually. I don't know how it blows my mind every time. It shouldn't. It should not be a surprise. But I'm asking you a clear question. So you said you were LDS. Now the LDS church says they are the truest church on earth. Therefore, if you were LDS, you would think that that's the truest church. Now it's not even the LDS church. It's whatever. It's all of Christianity now. So there's not even a church. And now that she's walking back, won't even give you a church name.
He was going to use me and Chad as an instrument in his hands to divide his church, and he called it the Great Divide. And he said it's going to look really bad. It's going to look really
It doesn't
bad.
just look bad, though. You understand that? It's not looking bad.
It does look bad. I understand that it looks bad. I understand what you think. I understand what you're saying. I get you 100%.
So you're telling me that's not true. None of it's true is what you're telling me. Nothing that happened, nothing that police have said or found is real. And it's all fabricated because
I'm not
Satan.
saying that. I'm saying
Well, then that doesn't make any sense.
They twisted and turned real facts. They had experts come on and lie that they paid off. They had all kinds of things go on that happened.
So experts got paid off, and it was it was like a behind-the-scenes movie where it was all to make sure you're convicted because that was your mission to have to suffer like Job.
Okay, let me tell you something else.
So I ask you a damn question. It's hard not to laugh. It's so crazy. It's so crazy to ask someone direct ask question. And the answer to your question is, well, let me tell you something else. Let me ask you this. What about this? What if this? It's like, I asked you a question. I asked you a direct question, but I grew up with this kind of mind effery. Let's call it that word, mind effery.
On the day of the second trial, okay, on the second trial in
Arizona, Charles or Brandon? Which one?
On the second trial, Brandon.
Okay, Brandon.
At the end of the second trial.
Yes.
On the day of the verdict, you know, I'd been sick during that whole entire trial. Really sick, like physically sick. And that morning, I woke up feeling amazing, like great, like really feeling good, like not just not sick, but like, you know, when you've been sick for a long time.
Wait, but
suddenly feel
in the text you said you were translated. So I'm confused. Are you translated or not? Because how would you get sick if you're translated? Do you understand how none of that makes any sense to me? Yeah, I just wanted to. It was like jujitsu. It's just like, let's use your logic, the stupid stuff you've said, and let me ask you direct questions about the things that you've said. It's so wild to listen to someone who made it up not be able to answer their own logic question. This is like someone writing lore for a movie or something. Like
translation is a long process. So if you
like a vampire, is this a real thing? Like, do you understand that this doesn't, the logic you put out doesn't even have a backup story? Like there's no, like, it's like Chad changing his mind about Alex's multiple lives. Like it doesn't ever have a basis because it's being said as you go. So anyway, continue your story. Go ahead.
Not true.
Go ahead.
Okay. I will tell you that that day, that the second verdict, when I was there, I've had several visits from the Savior since the 2017 visit,
okay.
Right? All through jail. In every jail, he's come and given me all kinds of things. He came and gave me Zephaniah.
Here's the thing. I know what the translation is. So I just want to put that out there. I've told you guys, I've really clocked this case early because I know Lori too well. And the reality is, her thing is she is so obsessed with the vampires from Twilight. Obsessive. Like that definitely meant something to her. Just like Chad was talking about the whole, you know, Harry Potter thing. Like they have a lot of lore from pop culture and stuff like that. I know where that idea, her idea of translation is like what vampires become. It's not a long process. That's why I asked her the direct question. Like, then what is it? Okay, so it's a long process. But in the Bible, if you go to Jesus being translated on top of the mountain, it was an instantaneous translation. So what translation are you referring to? How long does it take? What's the time frame?
Chapter 3, said that refers to me. He came to me and said, Revelations 12, the woman, that refers to me. He came to me and said, Luke 18.
Revelations 12 refers to you.
Correct.
What is Revelations 12? I'm just going to look it up. Hope you guys don't mind it. Revelations 12. I've read it before. I just need to remember. I'm pretty sure I know what it is. Pretty sure I know what it means. Okay, the woman and the dragon. Revelations 12, very quick, says, a great sign appeared in heaven, a woman clothed with the sun. I'm not going to cuss while I'm reading the Bible, but is this serious? Are we serious? Media first said, a great sign appeared in heaven, a woman clothed with the sun, with the moon under her feet and a crown of 12 stars on her head. She was pregnant and cried out in pain and said she was about to give birth. Then another sign appeared in heaven, and an enormous red dragon with 7 heads and 10 horns and 7 crowns on his head. And its tail swept with a third out of the stars of the sky and flung them onto the earth. The dragon stood in front of the woman who was about to give birth so that it might devour her child the moment he was born. She gave birth to a son, a male child, who will rule all nations with an iron scepter. And her child was snatched up to God and to his throne. The woman fled into the wilderness, a place prepared to her by God, where she might be taken care of for 1,260 days. Then war broke out in heaven. Michael and his angels fought against the dragon, and the dragon and his angels fought back. But he was strong enough, and they lost their place in heaven. Okay, I skipped a few things because most of it's the fight. When the dragon saw that he had been hurled into the earth, he pursued the woman who had given birth to the male child, the woman who was given the 2 wings of the great eagle, that she may fly to the place prepared to her in the wilderness, where she would have been taken care of for a times and a half, time out, and the serpent's reach. Then his mouth, the serpent spewed like water to a river to overtake the woman and sweep her away with the torrent. But the earth helped the woman by opening its mouth and swallowing the river that the dragon had spewed out of his mouth. Then the dragon was enraged at the woman and went off to wage war against the rest of her offspring. Those who keep God's commandments hold fast to their testimony about Jesus. Yikes. 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 That's not Lori. But apparently in her mind, and in her delusions, okay, I don't think she's as delusional as everybody else does, but I know there is some kind of delusions more from this conversation, a little bit more. It's not like the Joker where he doesn't know anything different. I think she really is trying to trick herself. I'll put it that way. Long story short, that's insane. That she thinks the devil is after her, that it is her versus the devil directly.
He told me all the reasons why. Then he came and said that Luke 18, the widow and the unjust judge in the city, refers to me. And then on that day, I think it was
pretty much
June 12th, that day of the verdict, he was standing there holding my hand. And I felt amazing. I felt so good.
Okay.
You know, the jury was there saying guilty, 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 guilty all the way, right? Now, he was holding my hand. No one could see him, but he was holding my left hand. And he said, it is finished. And I understood that to mean that it will change now. I don't have to be persecuted for this anymore. That it is changing, that the tides are changing, that something new is going to happen. So
why did everybody then die? If it's okay, so here's what I hear. It's about you. And God's made it about you, and everything that happened so far has been about you, and Chad has made it about himself and you. Nope. And then everybody who just died is just a byproduct of the missions that you two have that's so important. And you guys were talking about the project in the backyard, about making sure that Alex can confirm, this was the phone call, that the backyard was taken care of, the backyard project, and we got to have some guarantees that the backyard project, that shit broke my heart. Because I knew what it meant. What project? What you're working on? You were in jail.
She was shaking her
that
head.
doesn't even like what.
So you should have seen. I forgot. Maybe I should add a little more context to how I remember what she looked like. I can't give you everything. But this a lot of the time. So again, you guys know when you FaceTime, I've told you this, guys, whenever we talked about this interview so far, but it's very blurry in the back. So there's almost a point where if she would have put this far back, it would have blurred her out completely because they blur the background so you can't see other people in the jail. That's how it works, I guess. So a lot of times she would barely scoot back and just get blurred out, and I would see her body, but not her. And then she was sitting there, though, that whole time like she was in court like this. Let me do that downward. The whole time. So when I was speaking, she was trying to act like I was crazy, and she was shaking her head while she was waiting to respond. And that was why I got so upset, because again, I'm looking at her. So the whole time my eyes are off to my phone because I'm only talking to her. Like I'm finally saying everything I want to her face. It was years and years and years that I had not seen her and talked to her face to face. That was the first time since 2020, early 2020. That I'd even looked at her in the face and said something. So again, that's the point. But she was shaking her head the whole time like I'm crazy.
Come on, the kids were in the backyard. You're telling me that wasn't part of it?
No.
Oh, hell no. Come on.
What we were talking about was an eternal blueprint, this life.
For the backyard, eternal blueprint for the backyard. That doesn't even make any sense.
It's because I was in there watching Ultimate Pools or whatever.
Oh,
so
God. So you wanted to swim in a pool in the backyard where the kids were buried?
No. That's what I'm saying. You're misconstruing that whole conversation.
How?
That conversation was completely about eternity and
An eternal pool? That's not what it said.
So
The
stupid.
pool? Let me go back to what it said. Yeah, I did listen to it.
I know, but we have to get it out verbatim. You don't understand. We were talking about it when Chad and I have conversations. We're talking about eternal things. We're usually talking about the spirit world, and we're usually not talking about things on earth.
Yeah, but that's not what. Okay, so this was the conversation.
I understand it, but it's over everybody's head. I get it, but they're trying to connect. Okay, let me give you this one analogy. Okay. You loved Skyrim, right?
Yeah.
You used to play Skyrim.
By the way, I just want to say this out loud because it's pretty crazy. So this exact interview made me want to play Skyrim all over again. So we've been doing that over on Pop Culture Poppy. And if any of the mods have that link, I'd really appreciate if you guys could put that up for us, because it's been really fun. But this logic it's infuriating. I don't think I can explain how unbelievably frustrating it is to listen to someone try to use this logic.
Okay. Or Call of Duty or whatever these games are, right? Let me ask you a question.
Mm-hmm.
If you and Jace were having a conversation on text about doing all kinds of things to people, but you have these names for these guys that are on your game, right? We're going to go get this person. We're going to do this. We're going to bury him. We're going to do that. Whatever you say for your game. But you're only talking about a video game. You're not talking about real life. Okay? Then you're accused of a crime. Okay? And then the police get your phone. And they're like, this guy, Colby, and this guy, Jace, they're planning on doing all these things to this guy named Wilbur or whatever. Okay? And
I'm sorry. This is what I mean by it is unbelievable to hear a human being try to logic out me talking to a friend about a video game, make up a name for it, and try to logic that out. It's insane to me. But I did name the character Wilbur because this shit was the most ridiculous part of this whole thing.
totally gets misconstrued.
Right.
Okay. What I'm telling you is when Chad and I are having conversations, we are talking about eternal things going on in the spirit world, and that's our code. It doesn't have anything to do with what's going on.
I can dissect that in 30 seconds. So hold on.
Okay.
So let me just rebuttal to that. Number one, if the FBI came to me and said, you're going to bury Wilbur and then say you shot a raccoon and it's in the same exact geolocation that Alex was visiting, that shit is a crime. That's not the same thing. If I'm saying I'm going to fucking blow a shout in Skyrim or do this thing, it doesn't have evidence behind it that actually correlates with a crime.
Stupid ass.
You understand what I'm saying? It's not possible to have a conversation about a video
Your
game.
heavenly conversation that is actually about committing and hiding crimes does not have the evidence behind it. Again, if I said I'm going to do this thing in a video game and then you find out somebody actually did that thing, it does not count. I'm going to play Spider-Man 2 later and we're going to go beat up Harry, who is Venom. And then you find out that somebody named Harry got beat up. That, do you understand that the point is that doesn't apply here? That doesn't apply. Do you know how mad I have to be to do this? Do you know how mad I have to be to get super eccentric to that level where my hands never go down and I do this? I'm trying to give you guys the insight on that.
That very particular conversation that you're talking about with Ultimate Pools, okay?
Ultimate Pools is heavenly.
We were not referring to anything in a pool. It was about this life as a gym.
Okay, but it was a guarantee, and you wanted to get out.
On this mission, which is difficult, right? That's what the blueprint was. That was the whole entire thing. So it's totally misconstrued.
Okay, so if you guys remember the conversation that we're referring to, the conversation is about Lori and Chad talking about guarantees that they will never have whatever in the backyard found out, that they wanted to put concrete back there because they were going to try to hide the fact that they did what they did. That's the point. She's trying to bullshit me. That's the difference in why this conversation happened, because I'm letting her know I don't believe you. I'm not buying a single ounce of your bullshit. And this is my way of telling you to your face, I don't believe you. And you're still thinking that you can talk to me this way, and it's not going to work. So that's why I did it, to get it off my chest.
To bring it down to earth and say we were talking about the here and now.
Okay, but Tylee and JJ's bodies were in that backyard, and the conversation's context was about the backyard. So what in the world do you...
I understand how you're correlating that.
And they just got buried back there like fucking garbage. Do you understand that? Like, that was garbage. They just got thrown back there. That was the most heartbreaking thing. I can't even tell you how that feels to find that out. After you and I were talking on the phone, I was talking to you days before, and the last thing you said to me before we stopped talking was about Abraham and Isaac. I said, I'm not calling you back because why would you even say that? And then I found out why. And then I talked to you years later, and that's what you tell me. And it never added up. Do you understand that the truth adds up over time, even if it's heavenly? It adds up.
It will add up.
Okay, at the end of all things, what do you think is going to happen at the end? What's the end? What's the end of this story then? So I'm going to find out that you and Chad were right. That's what you're standing on.
Yes.
Okay, and I'm worried.
Understand it in its entirety, and you are going to understand it. When Jesus comes, he will make it known to all mankind. He will make it known to all mankind. And
Zombies is going to be out there. You're the person you say you are. Alex is a good person. Are we really?
Yes, because you're trying to look at everything from an earthly perspective, and if you do that, you will never understand. And if you look at things from an eternal perspective, then you will start to understand. And that's the whole thing.
But do you understand? Let's go back to who Jesus is. Jesus Christ comes to earth and makes it conceptualized for humans, because it wouldn't work if it was all above our pay grades. So if Jesus did not make things make sense and speak in parables and try to preach the actual gospel to other people, and everything was above our heads, then none of this would work. Nobody could have salvation because it would be too complex. Do you understand that the stuff you guys have said in your text, the phone calls, the recordings with Melanie and Ian, all that stuff, that's not heavenly because it doesn't correlate with your Bible. That's what God gave you as the blueprint so you understand how to check things. That was not it. Maybe if you wanted to, you could go back and say, well, this actually is this thing, like you just said. Oh, well, I'm the woman in Revelations. But that's like me saying, well, I'm actually the person in Isaiah 15. That's me. It's fitting your narrative. I just made that up, by the way. I don't know anything about Isaiah 15. I really don't know what I was talking about. But I just trying to, for me, I think, again, I knew it doesn't matter to her. She's not going to receive. But to say it does feel better. It just did. It just finally felt like it was all the logic you're using right back at you. Just like, then why don't you explain it? Well, let me give you a scenario. That's the thing I got every time. Rather than actually being truth. And that's what bothers me, because I read my Bible and it doesn't make sense to what you said.
A lot. And let me tell you, I wouldn't have believed that if Jesus hadn't told it to me.
Okay, could you be being deceived? Do you think you could be deceived? Do you not believe that at all?
I have seen in person, Colby. You know this.
No, I don't know this. That's the point. It doesn't make why do you say I know this? You told me this back in 2018 during a haircut that you saw Jesus, and I was like, okay, what am I supposed to say? Oh, no, you didn't. F you. You did not see Jesus. I didn't believe her. What am I supposed to tell you? At the time, I was just like, okay. I didn't even know what, I didn't say, oh, yeah, great. That's awesome. That's amazing. It's like, okay. Since you told me that, that doesn't mean I know that.
Why would I make, who would make that up?
You don't even want me to start down the rabbit hole of who would make up a concept like that. I don't know. Her. She's making up the whole thing. The one thing you didn't lie about is the Jesus part. Really? Anybody can make that up.
No one is more shocked than the person he appears to that he appeared to you. Like, you're like, who am I? No one is more shocked than me that he appeared to me and told me I was in Revelation.
It says we have 20 seconds. Hold on. We have 20 seconds. Are you going to call back for another conversation?
Yes, I will try to call right back. It'll take a few minutes.
That's fine.
Reload and everything.
That's fine. Okay. It's going to cut off. So we'll just save the rest of the conversation then.
If you want to get out your Bible, we can go over some verses.
No, thank you. I know enough. I've read it privately plenty. No, thank you was, I'm not going to listen to you twist the Holy Bible in favor of you. You're out of your freaking mind if you think I'm going to sit there and let you sit there and try to convince me that you are this person in the Holy Bible. I don't even want to hear it. It's so when I'm asleep. Fit the Bible to fit your narrative and have a I just am skipping the conversation. You want it raw? You can have it. Whatever. You want it raw? You can have it. It's crazy. Oh, man. By the way, I had a lot of people all the lot of messages while I was on the phone. Whoa. It's just going to be the same. I just want to say, for future reference, I cannot answer your text during a live interview. So I hope that's just everybody who is watching who can send a message understands I cannot talk right now. Okay? No disrespect to you. What the frick is going on? What is this? Freaking Kevin eating bacon. Kevin eating broccoli. The frick. But I'm going to say that. I'm going to say it. Can't have a conversation with you right now in the middle of a conversation with someone else. Live. Thanks. All right, here it is. Okay, it's back on.
Okay. I need a minute.
Go see, he starts eating a damn snack. Have some damn respect for my time. I don't want to hear you eat a snack. It did not take that long. It was like 2 minutes.
People are listening, so I need to be more quiet. Can you still hear me?
Yeah. Like I said, if it is what it is, if you're not going to answer it, I said respectfully, you can move on from it. Whatever. Oh yeah, I want to say that too. Again, one more thing. I told her, she called at, I don't know, 20 minutes before this, and I was trying to see if I could, if I could have her on the screen. We were trying to like figure it out. Long story short, the conversation we had was this. If you do not want to answer a question, just say, okay, I'm not going to answer that. Like, whatever. We'll move on to the next thing. Like, I'm not trying to push because I know you're not going to answer anyway. So this is the only respect I'm going to give you is if you don't answer something, just move the F on. That's what it is. But no, it was there was people who are kind of just saying a lot of things the whole time. So my phone is just blowing up. Lori's on my phone, so I have to look at my phone, and I'm just getting blown up text-wise. It was a ton of people texting me at the same time. I was like, come on, guys. I cannot answer you right now.
I can't even give you the attention. No disrespect, but I can't
understand. It doesn't, you don't understand what it, like, you've been saying that, and you said it when we had our first conversations about, I will learn one day I'll understand. And I'm telling you right now, your salvation is at stake. Do you not believe that? You think you're cleared? Like, what if you saw and you pass? Because I was in the hospital thinking the same thing. If I pass, I got to meet Jesus. I have to see him. That's my thing. Nobody else can stop it, say me nothing. You're not afraid of the moment of looking at Jesus and saying, I did all of this in your name. And what does he say to people that say that? Depart from me, for I never knew you. That does not make fear in your heart. You think you're clear, because it worries me, and it had, and I realize I can't make you choose anything. You're telling me what you think happened. I'm telling you it's anti-biblical. It doesn't make any sense. It does not add. And that is what God says, to measure people by their fruit.
All true.
And Chad is the same exact way.
I understand what you're saying exactly. I get it.
So what do you get? What do you understand?
What do you get then?
I get it from an earthly perspective. It
Gosh.
looks bad. I understand.
Why is it earthly perspective?
And I don't understand. I understand why everyone in the world thinks what they think. With what the media's put out about me, I understand why they think what they think.
So then what is the truth? If you can say the truth without whatever way you say it, what would be the truth?
I do not have to reveal the truth, because God is going to reveal the truth to everyone very, very soon.
What does soon mean to you?
Well, what does soon mean to him? It's his timing. When he wants to do it, he will do it. But he has assured me.
I asked her that question because she mentioned The Chosen, and I know she watches The Chosen, which is crazy. And in The Chosen, one of the main things that Jesus is talking to one of the apostles, and they say, "What is soon?" And he said, that's why I asked her that question, because I know her biblical stuff that she's got is coming from media. It's not coming from the Bible.
That he is going to do it, and that I will be amazed at the way he does it. I will be amazed.
You're not afraid of what consequences there could be.
No.
Has anybody asked you that? Has anybody close asked you if you're worried about what could happen in the afterlife? Have you weighed the consequences of that?
I am perfectly 100%. Okay, 100% happy with my relationship with Jesus Christ.
Oh my
and I
gosh.
will face him today, in 5 minutes, in 1 minute, in 100 years, whenever that day is. Whenever that day is, I am happy to look him in the eye, tell him how much I love him, and how grateful I am for this opportunity. He put me in this prison. He's turning Sauls into Pauls in these prisons. He needed people to go into the prisons.
She can see me shaking my head, just so we're all clear. Like, I have not played a second of her game. But again, you're blaspheming God. You're gonna have to face God. And you're gonna have to say, yeah, I used your name to take everybody out. And then I told everybody, I quadrupled down every time I was ever asked that I did all this because you told me to do it. I don't know if anybody's ever asked her about her salvation.
Okay. Do you understand that the relationship you have with Chad, you told me Charles was cheating, but
Charles was cheating, yeah.
You were cheating, Lori. That's cheating.
I never did cheat. No, I did
They
not.
had proof that you did. You think that they made that up to make a narrative more about you, or there's the receipts? There's a difference.
There is so much receipts that they were cheating. So much receipts. It's not even funny. Or their time in the shower, spirit time. You were so good in the shower this morning when you're not even in the same state. How the hell does that happen, nerd?
You guys were going to hotels together. What were you doing there? Praying on a bed together? You think I believe that?
Oh my gosh. It's everything I ever wanted to say. I mean, not everything. There's obviously about 10,000 more things I could have brought up or said right or different. Everybody does that. I think you kind of criticize yourself a little bit and go, I wish I would have said this more. Come on, bro. You guys were staying at hotels, just you two, completely alone, one room, one bed. What were you doing?
Having a conversation, talking, holding hands, and praying. Yeah, okay. Stupid ass. You're two adults. It's inappropriate relationship. Sending dancing videos from the house that had this thing upstairs where you told me Charles cheated.
Charles did. Charles sent those to make it
Oh,
look like
hell
I was
no.
having an affair. Charles sent those from
You're gonna
my
blame
computer
him.
in the bedroom. I'm not blaming him.
You
I'm
are
saying
blaming
at
him.
the time,
That is blaming.
He had gotten caught. He got caught cheating, so he was trying to make it look even because he didn't want to lose everything in the divorce. That's all it was. I did not send those videos. Charles came into the dance room and videoed me one night, which was really odd. He said, I'm just going to video you. He came into my dance room, which I go in by myself every night and dance after DJ would go to bed and get my work.
Charles didn't even know who Chad was. So you're telling me to flip his cheating around. He concocted a plan that's not even cheating to send a dance video of you, which no one wants to watch you dance by yourself in your dance room. Okay? No one gives a shit about you dancing. That's not even cheating. That wouldn't prove any kind of cheating anyway. So let's just get that out the way right now. And then Charles videos you and sends it to Chad to screw his marriage up because Charles was cheating on you. So that was his way of getting you to look like you were cheating, even though in court, no one would give two shits if you sent a dancing video that's in third person, clearly third person. Someone's holding a phone. It's not propped. Mirrors are in there as well. She had mirrors in the dancing room. So you would have seen a person filming it as well.
Workout done, and then I would go shower, take a bath, and get ready and go to bed. So one night he came up and he said, I just want to video you so I can have these on my phone. Okay, he sent those to Chad and then said I sent them to Chad. I did not send them to Chad. I was embarrassed and actually called and talked to Chad and Tammy and apologized.
She's never talked to Tammy once in her life. Never once.
Because I did not send those. Okay, that's part of that story. Charles.
So you never cheated on Charles with Chad. You guys were just buddies until you decided to get married one day?
Yes, we were very good friends until then. We did.
What about Tammy? You never cheated. Neither one of you ever cheated, even emotionally in your mind.
Well, emotionally, I can say that we were attached from the day that we were introduced in this life. Yes, but we did not have any physical until after we were married. Completely 100%, because I had made covenants in the temple, and I can stand before God right now and tell you that I have not broken those covenants at all.
No, you cannot.
At all. I will stand before Father and Mother and Jesus and say,
who is Mother? Who is Mother? Who's Mother?
She, Father's wife.
Why does he need a wife? Anyway, we're not even going to get into theology. That's not going to go well. I just don't know. I'm going to say this with all the respect in the world, but let's just think about, number one, there's not one mention biblically about a mother. Secondly, why would God need to have a wife? God doesn't have sex. He creates. He creates with words. He doesn't need a wife. It wouldn't even make any sense that he would be married, because then she would be part of the Godhead, and she's not. Okay, so you're telling me, like, if I zoom back to when the last time I felt like I even knew who you were would have been about 2016, 2017. And that's about the last time I can think that I felt that you were even Lori. And at that point, we had everything out there, right? We had our family. We had a nice place. I had moved out. Like, you had everything you needed. What is it that happened in your mind that wasn't enough to have what we had? It was just you needed more.
I didn't need anything, Mark.
Chad was the one you were supposed to be with, and so Charles just self-defense dies. How convenient is that? You understand that doesn't make any sense? None of this. All of it has a bigger picture if you just look at it logically. Because every move you made.
Logically too. Okay, get this.
Go ahead.
There's a text message from Zulema to me. Okay? There's a text message from Zulema to me in 2019, early 2019, and she says to me that someone in my family is going to pass away. And after
she doesn't have the ability to fucking call that. What power does she have?
Let me just
bullshit.
finish.
Go ahead.
Okay.
Sorry.
Her text message to me, which they wouldn't let me put it up.
It's the stupidest thing ever. First of all, if Zulema did say that, that's incriminating in and of itself. So her saying pre someone actually being killed that someone's gonna die is incriminating. If anything, it doesn't prove anything. And who the hell is Zulema? Who the actual hell is the woman who calls the weather and thinks that she's got shaking powers to text you and say, oh yeah, someone's gonna pass away in your family? How is that evidence? How would that work well? At least somebody on your legal team was like, hey, horrible idea. Do not put that shit in there. Because it's incriminating. And you guys know how I feel about Zulema anyway, but still.
But of course, if it got put up, her text message to me was someone in your family is going to pass away.
And that did not alarm you.
Yep.
And then there's going to be a domino effect, and we are not prepared for that.
Fuck that bullshit. That's such that people getting killed. There's not.
This is all flying out of my mouth as it's happening, which is funnier to me because I don't remember what I said. Fuck that bullshit's crazy because it's such a lie. It's such a lie. How in the world does that look like evidence to you? How does that logically feel like? Come on.
Not a domino. That's not dominoes. That's not someone dying and being like God passing through Genesis and taking the firstborn son.
Exactly right, Thomas.
Let me ask you a question. If Charles was self-defense, let's just say it was, okay? I know you don't believe it, but let's just say that it was, okay? There was just Alex's self-defense, not my self-defense, Alex's self-defense. After he tried to hit Tylee with the bat, he would have killed Tylee with the bat that day. He was that upset. This was about Tylee.
Yeah,
there it is.
I don't believe it. Go
there
ahead.
it is. This is where she connects all the dots in her mind to blame Tylee. It is all Tylee's fault. Listen to how she goes into this.
Let me just go with this.
Go ahead and make up a scenario.
There it is.
I'll listen to it.
Yeah, go ahead and make up some bullshit. Let's see what you come up with now.
Okay. If Charles was self-defense, and that was the death talking about, okay? And then Tylee's guilt over that.
There it is.
Because she's the one that brought up the bat.
Stop.
No, I have to tell you this.
That's a fucking lie, and you know it. We both know that.
Okay.
You're gonna tell me Tylee felt so guilty?
She said, I ruined our lives, Mom, because we had to move out of our house. We had to sell our cars. She thought she ruined our lives financially. I could have cared less about finances. As you know, Charles is the one that cared about finances.
You were trying to get the life insurance, and then Chad took the life insurance. You guys went to Hawaii. You don't give a fuck about money. You rerouted Tylee's money to your account and JJ's, and then
True either. Okay, first of all, that's all not true.
how's that not true?
First of all,
You have all the receipts of when you called to get that money into your account. She did it, I think it was the 8th, the day before Tylee. How stupid do you have to be to think I did not see that? That's all fake? All they had to do is, that's the thing. It's your body weight versus you. Because in this scenario, it's jujitsu. I'm using your own stuff that happened that they took and had evidence of from a digital standpoint on you, and you can't even answer a question. That's the difference.
How did you survive that? How did you go and pay in the most high cost place in Hawaii where we lived, in Princeville, which is the luxury area? How did you afford that? Neither one of you had enough money for that. You know it. So Tammy's money paid for that shit, right? That it's very clear.
it's not very clear.
It is.
You're just assuming.
I'm assuming
a
what?
lot of things that you have no idea what was going on.
I'm getting mad, like I'm in it again, and I need to chill the frick out because she can't hear me.
So I did not reroute Tylee's money to my account. The Social Security made us do that. Tylee and I called when we had to close our accounts that were attached to Charles' account, right? We had to close those. So they said the money has to go into your account. It can't go into Tylee's account because she's a minor. And we said, well, they already had it in her account and she's a minor. They said, no, we can't do that from Social Security. So they moved it to my account. None of that was able to be presented.
And you didn't spend it?
after she was gone. And then you text me as Tylee. Do you remember that? Because I remember that. And that was the most devastated thing I've ever been through in my life, to realize that she was gone.
Wanted you to have that money for
I don't fucking want the money.
I never wanted $1. I never wanted anything. Everybody goes, oh, Colby, you asked your sister for Venmo. For the billionth time that I've explained it, I asked Lori for money. She would say, I can send it to you through Tylee. She can Venmo you. I asked Tylee for money maybe twice, if that, where I directly asked her and also would pay her back when I got paid. That simple. I never wanted any kind of money. Why would I want my sister's money that she was getting from her dad that she got because he was dead? Why would I want that money? I don't fucking want money. She, in her mind, it's all about money. She says, I don't care about money. It was all about money for her. What did that have to do with what I said? You text me as my dead sister and you go into a whole tangent about Tylee would have wanted you to have the money. That's my point. It's crazy.
Text from my dead sister. That's what I don't want. I don't want to be texted from someone who's bullshitting me saying, oh, I'm still watching Ad Astro. That's lies. You understand that that's...
Let me ask
you fucking tell him. Just like this. Tylee died. That's how you fucking do it. You don't bullshit people and fucking lie and make me find out they're buried in the backyard. That's what the fuck it is. You tell me.
Did you want me to call you up?
Yes, you should have fucking told me if that is what happened. Yes. Yes.
Okay, well, I wish I would have. But I couldn't face that at the time.
That's what you do.
I wish I would have. Because you were the one person in the whole world that I felt like.
But I'm not the. Kay deserved to know about JJ. Everyone that loved Tylee, Summer, Janice, her friends, all the people who love JJ, everybody deserved it. It's not just me. You tell them. It's that simple. You don't bury them. You don't fucking cut her up and burn her for her. I don't give a shit who did it. Somebody's evil ass did it. Somebody who had evil in their heart did that. You can't do that to a human being and be fucking normal.
Maybe, okay, could it be that she...
No, it can't not be. You can't cremate in a normal fire. Does anybody have an education? You have to have a temperature so high.
Yeah, guys, this was all scripted, by the way. We scripted this out. We rehearsed. I talked to Lori. We rehearsed this all out so we could script this for whatever reason. I'm not really sure what the end goal is, but we scripted this part out. I'm not just screaming at the top of my lungs at her, or that she's sitting there lying about my sister being responsible for everybody being dead. This was all scripted out. How fucking dumb do you have to be? I'm sorry. How stupid do you have to be to believe that somehow, in some way, this is scripted or thought of pre? So crazy to me. I just never understand it.
And you don't have to dismember someone. That's sick. And JJ was duct taped. Why would you duct tape a dead kid? You don't duct tape dead children. They have no reason to be duct taped and bound.
Okay. You don't even understand.
Yeah, I don't.
Okay.
That's bullshit. That's why you can't fucking lie to me about it.
Well, I didn't do any of those things.
I don't give a shit if Alex did it. I don't care if Alex did it. Your door was open. You knew what was going to happen. You knew they were going to disappear. So you just said, oh, well, you know what? I'm just going to go to Hawaii and get married and try to move on and feel better about myself. And I'm going to try to live my life. And I'm going to not talk to anybody because I know it's a fucking crime. You knew even abandoning and not telling us where the kids were is why you originally got arrested. Come on. Come on. You really think I'm buying this? You really believe that I would believe that? I knew you my whole life too.
Yeah. You can think or believe whatever you want
It's
to
not,
believe. I'm not here to try to convince you. I'm not going to convince you. God will make it known and clear as a bell.
Why do you think that that's going to happen?
Because I know, because he told me it was, and he's going to do that. And he has me in here doing his work in the meantime.
Oh my gosh.
And then he's going to reveal it to the whole world. When he does, okay, let's just go over that scenario.
Go through it.
Yeah, here she goes. Here go those fucking scenarios. I can't even keep up with the scenarios. You haven't said one factual thing. It's just all scenario based. Everything is what if this, what if that.
That everything I've told you is true, and that's the way it all happened, then what? Where do we go from there? Can you and I finally heal?
No.
Can we heal from this?
So that's what you want.
Can we
You think that I did not want my family to be there every birthday, holiday, all the shit that gets missed? My kids don't even know anybody in my family because of this. So don't play with me. Oh, well, would it be safe? I know that's not going to happen because I have a prayer life too. I've asked God over and over and over to just help me understand. And I know that what he's not helping me understand is your version of the story. It's coping with the fact that I have to understand that you are where you are and nothing I say matters. You have chosen your path. You've chosen what you want, and you'd rather sit there and tell me this stuff. See, here's another perfect point. Like, people were saying that you're wasting your time talking. No, I'm not. I didn't waste a second of time. I got it off my chest, and that she needed to hear all this stuff. Whether she accepts it or not, doesn't matter. Then just walk through it. And so again, if God appeared and changed it all, I still don't believe he would tell me the story you just told me. That is how convinced I am that that does not make sense. I talk to people in the FBI, the detectives. I have a gauge too. I can see if someone's operating in evil. It's called discernment. I can look in their eyes and tell. Get some. I know that people are not all against you. That doesn't even make any sense. It's not about Job. It's about you and your actions. They never add up. Do you understand that if you look at it in its totality, it doesn't add up anywhere? That's the problem.
Okay, I understand how you think that, and I understand how other people think that.
How can you understand facts? It's either you. How could you understand? You could say, well, that they lied so much, I could understand you believe that. But you wouldn't keep saying it over and over to like make me feel whatever. I don't understand.
And they can think whatever they want. And right. I'm not here to try to convince you otherwise. I told you the truth. I told you my truth.
Yeah, your truth.
What happened with the kid. And I thought you were the one person who would understand because
you
were
think,
the one that
why
understood.
would you think that I think that? Why?
You were the one that knew that she was suicidal because you were coming and mentoring her.
Oh. Douche. Gosh, I just cannot stand this motherfucker. I cannot stand her. Stupid ass.
You knew that she was watching the stupid 13
She never told me she was suicidal, so let's stop. You want to go through that? Let's go through that. Tylee never once said she was suicidal. She told me she had issues with you, and she didn't know how to get along with you because you two butted heads all the time. That was our mentorship, and at the end of the day, I was trying to bridge a gap between you two. That was my goal. I was trying to get her to understand how hard you have worked to try to be there for her. And instead of listening to her feelings, I was trying to say, well, mom's done this and mom's done that, which was the wrong way to approach it because her feelings should have been validated. She should have been heard. It never came up, oh, I'm suicidal, Colby. I really want to take my life. That never once ever was alluded to or said.
Okay. Really? Because
really?
You called me up. Do you remember the conversation when you called me up and said, Mom, the second series or whatever came out of 13 Reasons Why.
Yes.
Tylee should not walk.
Exactly.
And all that. We had this conversation about we were worried about her being suicidal. You not remember that conversation?
Okay. That show. Yes.
We didn't have that.
That's the context. That show is about a girl who takes her life and leaves tapes back and explains the reason why she did it. Okay. Suicide is selfish, number one. So let's just get that out of the way. Number two, the second season's way darker. There's a lot of other themes in it. And there's some disgusting things. I said it made me back when I was in college even feel more depressed and suicidal because it's a dark show. It's very dark. It's just the truth. If you watch that show, it's very dark in its theme. It's all about someone who committed. You know what I mean? So it's like, that's the whole point of the show, literally. And it's dark. And I said she should not watch it because at the time she was 15. No 15-year-old should have access to something like that. In my personal opinion, I never said Tylee is suicidal ever. She never told me she felt that way ever. And I was not even, it was like counseling, but it almost like I was just trying to listen to her because I had some counseling. So I tried to do that for Tylee because I knew she had experienced a lot of the same things. I knew she had a lot of stuff. And she was telling me a lot of the stuff that she felt with Lori. And I guess for me, for whatever reason, I just kept trying to think I can help them bridge their gap because I kind of understand Lori. I understand Tylee. I'm going to try to make them get along. That was the thought because they had so much contention. Come on. Me from watching that show. I knew it was too mature for Tylee at all, period. And it made me feel heavy. That was the conversation. But Tylee never came to me and said, I am suicidal. You understand? I know that, right? Because I did talk to her one-on-one over and over and over for as long as I did. Suicide never came up. I was the one who was suicidal, not Tylee.
I remember when you were 16, you were suicidal, and when she was 16, she was suicidal. That's what she told me.
Well, that's not normal. It's not normal to have two kids who are suicidal. You know, that's not normal. That's what I was saying to her. It's not normal as two teenagers at the same ages feeling suicidal. You think that's normal? No, it's not normal to have suicidal thoughts at those ages. The point is, I was trying to prevent her from watching media that's dark. Dexter, 13 Reasons Why, and anything with an adult theme that would cause her to feel overwhelmed because her system could not handle that 16 years old. But it never came up. She did not commit suicide. That doesn't even make sense. That's not even her character.
I'm sorry, honey, that you feel that way.
It's not a feeling.
I can do about what happened. There's nothing I can do to go back and change it. If I could, I would. You think I don't feel guilty over all that? Do you think I'm her mother and I don't feel responsible for her?
You are.
I do. Do you think I don't feel responsible for JJ? I do.
But I don't. I'm telling you to your face. I don't. What you told me, I sat on forever. It's not what happened. You do not duct tape a child who is killed first. Why would you bound a person who's dead?
I don't know why someone would do that. I do not do that.
See, it's even weirder that she will not implicate someone who did it. We're at a point where she won't even say who did it. So it's not Chad, it's not Alex. I don't know why someone, you already told me you called Alex to come do it anyway. So you just told me. This last time we had a conversation back in 24 when I interviewed you, you said you called Alex. So Alex did that supposedly. Now you're not even admitting who did it. And then you're telling me that Tylee wasn't dead 2 weeks before JJ was? Do you think you think that they don't have ways to prove it? They found her exactly where Alex was on the 9th. Is that a coincidence? You think that I don't know, that I can't see? Do you think I was the one who felt that way? I was directionless. I hadn't dealt with my abuse as a child. I hadn't dealt with what I was doing with my mother. I didn't have an identity. I didn't know how to survive. So I was the one who had the ideology. Me. I was the one who felt that way, not Tylee. And I had the same home life, but it just felt different for me because I was older. I don't know. It just felt like I can handle this. She can't. That's the difference between us. But I had not dealt with my life yet. I had not dealt with what had happened to me and what I had experienced and what I was currently experiencing. I had no idea. I didn't know why I felt so suicidal, but I did. Tylee did it. It's just clear as day. Never once was a conversation in our family. I was never came up at all, ever, that she felt that way.
I do not think you're blind. Let me ask you this. So if we go back to Job for a second, okay? And Satan, you know it was Satan who was allowed to do whatever he wanted to Job, right? He killed all his 7 kids all at once, and their wives and their kids. They all got killed in the tent.
Yep.
Right? All at once. All his cattle were taken away. All his stuff was burned up. Everything was gone except for his wife. That's all he had left, right?
Yep.
And his friends all came and said, you must have done something wrong, right?
It's got to be
your fault. It's got to be. You got to have done something. There can't just be one. And all this stuff can't just happen to you.
Okay, but hold on, stop.
It was all your kids, all your money, all your household, every single thing, and get the boils and all these things, right? You can't. You must have done something. You must have done something. And let me tell you this scenario. What if you didn't? What if you didn't? What if he didn't? And guess what? He didn't.
So what caused then Alex to cremate Tylee by dismembering my sister's body and then burning it in a fire by her wishes?
If you listened at court,
I did.
If you would have listened at court,
I listened.
She was not dismembered. She was not dismembered.
She was. There's the only part in the entire interview where I couldn't exactly remember
what had been said in court, because I did not have that in my brain off the top of my head or listen. I don't know if I even listened to the expert, but yes, she was. There's weird definitions about certain things. There's weird, like, specific definitions of certain type of things in court. But this is the only part where I did not feel super confident because I couldn't remember what she said. Rain Collector said, "You are totally inspiring, Colby. When I felt like I can't keep going, I think about everything you have been through." I really appreciate that. Thank you for your chat. I will say, I just hope, that's all I've prayed for anybody, is that you can make it through hard things. We've done a lot of videos on the channel as of late talking specifically about that and just about mental health and understanding things. That's it. That's all I would want. There's no other positives in this scenario other than there is a life after. You can process through it, and it's not going to take your day over. And I'll get into some stuff at the end. We'll have that conversation, but thank you for your chat.
She was not dismembered.
Yes, she was.
She was burned, and the remains. No, she was not. And it said the person who got up to testify in court about the dismemberment said this is not consistent with dismemberment. Not
It is
consistent. Okay, so get your facts right if you want to argue with me.
Shut up, dumbass. It did. It was consistent. We need to go back and watch it. I almost wanted to be able to do that. Hello. Let's take what you said. Now let's go watch the evidence. Oh, well, that's fake. That's all fake. I love doing our lives. Thank you for being here. It's such a lie. This is all a lie, of course.
It's not a fact.
So let's take off dismemberment. She was put on a fucking fire to be cremated. Does anybody have any smarts that doesn't work? And you would just burn her in open air like she's bullshit trash, like she didn't matter?
I didn't.
Why not take her to where they cremate people? Why not that? Why hide it?
She mattered to me.
Okay.
She mattered
And
to
she was
me.
put in a pet cemetery, and you knew that. I know she was there.
No,
You knew she was buried. You knew she was buried.
I knew she was buried somewhere, but I thought she was buried somewhere else in some beautiful place.
Oh, such bullshit. Who would ever let some... It doesn't matter. She can't rage bait. You can't let someone get to you like this because she's not even here. But just to make it clear once again, no parent, no matter what, would allow their child to be buried somewhere that they don't even know where, and know they got cremated. I'm going to lose my shit. I am.
I didn't know.
Right. So that was Alex and Chad's fault. Whatever. Why not take her to a crematory and give her ashes and do her proper, if that were the case?
You know what, Colby? I wish I would have, but you don't understand the distraughtness that happens to a mother when they lose a child. And I wish that on you for your beautiful children.
There's people here in the chat who've probably lost their child. I never, ever want to hear that. That is the most pain I think a human could go through, in my personal opinion, is losing their own child. So I never want to hear that shit out of her mouth, ever. It is the sickest thing ever, to kill your children and then go flip it around and say, you don't know what it's like to lose a child. And I hope that never happens to you. Yeah, it's not going to happen. Yeah, don't ever say that shit to me. It's not going to happen.
Well, good. I hope it doesn't. But you have no control over that either. I had no control over what Tylee did. And I'm not trying to blame Tylee.
Come on.
Because I don't want to. So you can believe whatever you want to believe, honey, and you can hold on to this bitterness and anger.
I'm not bitter. Yeah, I'm not bitter. That's the funny part. You see, I'm not bitter. That's the greatest thing about it, is bitterness is the different. You have to know definitions. She doesn't know definitions of anything. But I already know that I don't have bitterness in my heart. I just am not going to eat. When someone's putting crap on your plate, telling you to eat lies, I'm not going to accept that. Because I did the research. So I don't want to hear that. Appreciate you. Thank you. People wouldn't even do that to their dogs. You love your dog. I wouldn't even want to do that to my dog. I would never want to say, go bury my dog somewhere beautiful, and I'll never know where. People wouldn't do that to their dogs, let alone your daughter, your blood daughter that you birthed. Oh, I'm not bitter. No, and I'll tell you exactly what it is. I've held this in for 6 years. I had to deal with the fact I dealt with the repercussions of your actions I lost my entire family, and I've died about 2 or 3 times trying to get to where I am today. So no, I'm not bitter.
I know.
Yeah, I don't think I don't think I could put that in context. I think I was trying to say it. It didn't come out exactly the way I would have wanted to say it, but she doesn't understand how much of a different person I am, and the things that I had to suffer because of her actions, and then my own life and everything that happened because of those things. I've had to completely restart my life multiple times, keep going through what felt like multiple times of just death. Like you're just losing and shedding off this person, and then you feel the whole thing. She doesn't understand it. Obviously, there's no context to her. She's the same that she was.
I just don't play games, and I don't believe you. I need you to understand that. That's the difference. I'm not bitter. I've been doing my therapy. I've been getting better. I've been doing my thing. So I'm not afraid to tell you I don't believe you. And I'm telling you for the first time in my life that I'm standing on my 2 feet in front of you to tell you that I do not think what you've told me is the truth. And it's so heartbreaking that the one thing that could have happened would be at least level with me. Treat me like a human being and say it.
so
But that's
sorry.
obviously not going to happen here. You want to tell me this whole rigamajig crap that you're making up as you say it.
Yeah, I never want to hear someone who murdered their children try to even. I don't know why that's such a specific sticking point to me, but the thought of trying to pretend you've lost your children when you killed them, and then act as if you deserve to be empathized with a grieving widow / grieving mother is beyond sick. Good luck telling Jesus that. Good luck.
Don't believe you because I've read my Bible. I have a prayer life. I've not seen Jesus, but I've experienced Jesus. And I have been through hell to get to this phone call. So no, I'm not bitter. I'm not bitter with you, but I also don't play games. And I'm allowed to say what I need to say without having bitterness in my heart. And I already told you I forgave you, and that's a process that you go through.
I understand.
But I said what I needed to say. That's the point.
That you've been through hard things, honey, and I'm sorry for it. I'm sorry for everything.
I don't need you to be sorry about it.
In the wake about
I'm all by myself now. You understand that? I'm by myself.
Not my plan.
I'm by myself now because of what happened. And then I call you and you want to tell me.
Do you not want to have a relationship with me at all?
Do you hear?
We have to go forward.
There's no forward. There's no forward here. What are you talking about? We don't even agree on what happened, whether you helped in this situation or everybody died. You think we can talk and have a conversation about the weather and my kids? That can't happen. That's the problem. I've already thought.
Ever change my mind and change everything that I believe and say, okay, Colby, you're right. I'm so sorry that I did everything that you're saying me and accusing me of. That we could go forward, or we're not going to.
How wild is that? How wild is that? To actually even admit that you could be wrong for the first time ever, even if you're saying it in a whatever sarcastic way. But that's the first time she'd even say, if I did say I was wrong and you were right about everything, would you be there for me? There's such a desperation in her life to get to me specifically. I don't understand it. I get it, but I don't understand it, if that makes sense. I understand that she wants to be close to me, that I'm the only living thing that should love her because I'm her child and I should love her. And the truth is, I don't understand how to, how do you tell someone you died? You're dead to me. That is how that works. I do not have a mother, and I've completely removed you as my mother. That can't happen. I didn't think it was possible before this situation, but it happened. She's not my mother. And I knew that at court. This wasn't even about this moment or anything. I will never forget when I went to the first day of Charles's trial and I saw her in person and she walked out from that door and I saw her. I looked at her and said, that is not my mother. That is not your mother. That is not your mother. And I felt so much relief to finally give it all up. Give it up. So I'm not talking to a mother. I'm talking to the murderer of my family. That's who I'm talking to.
Go forward either way.
What do you think forward means to you? I don't even know you. Do you understand what it's like to find all this stuff out? Do you think that is the person that I even recognize at all?
Or does this just feel like you're the same person from when you had me? Is that what you're telling me? You're the same exact person that I knew? Because absolutely no, you're not. You don't. You cut everything off. You texted me as my sister. You lied to me the entire time. Everything will be revealed all before COVID, all before we found the kids. And then when I called you, you said some stuff that I'll never forget. You laughed in my face. You thought that shit was funny. That broke my soul to know I'm trying to even talk to you in general. And we're going to sit here and have you laughing at me. And you're going to find out one day, pass me off. Come on. What do you think a relationship can be like that after that?
You know my personality, so you know that I'm a normally happy, jovial type of person.
Come on, dude. Everything is about you. I don't even know how you do it. You know me. You know my personality. I'm a happy-go-lucky. How about the fact that you laughed in my face when I told you you're blaspheming God, which you are? How about when I confronted you directly on all of this and you never once have answered a question I've asked you? Other than the court thing, the one time you actually directly answered something was the court stuff about Tylee. That was it.
Right? I try to look for the good in all things. I try to find the joy in all things. You know that's who I am and who I've always been. And yes, tragedy has struck our family. Yes, it has.
You're the
and I understand that. And I have dealt with it too, Colby. I understand. And I do not want you to be alone. That's the one thing I didn't want. But I've had to give you up to Jesus and let him handle you this whole time because I couldn't do
I'm a grown man anyway. So that's number one. I don't need you to do anything for me. I was a grown man when this all happened. And the actual Jesus did help me. Real Jesus helped me.
Anything to stop this. I couldn't do anything to stop that freight train that was going on. I had nothing I could have done to stop it. I wish I could have.
All right.
And I can't go
Obviously.
back and change anything. But you're going to keep my grandchildren away from me
hell
forever?
Yeah, I am.
Like,
Forever.
I'm in a safe place. I can't do anything to harm
Why would
them.
you say you're in a safe place and you can't harm them? That implicates that you know that you harmed someone before.
Is there something that you don't want me to have a relationship
I
with
think
either?
do you want 100% honesty? Because I'll say it. Do you want that? Oh yeah, this is where we got
You want me to stop
interrupted.
my video?
Yeah, by the way, thank you, snitch ass B. Thank you for not letting me finish this the way it should have been finished. Appreciate you.
Can you hold on for a second?
Go ahead. I was going to answer her question. If I were to remember, if I were to say what she just said, if she had said that question to me and said, you're going to keep them away from me. And I said, do you want 100% honesty? And I would have said, you are a child murderer. You're never going to speak to my children. I will never facilitate that in my life, ever. And if my kids turn 18 and they come to me and say, I feel like I want to ask my grandma questions, I would say, I really am telling you, do not do that. It's a horrible idea. But if you absolutely feel like you need to, I guess I'll help you the best I can. But I will never, ever approve and ever tell them you should do that. But if they're adults, they're adults. They get to make decisions. I pray they never do. I don't think they will. I'm just saying it's insane to think that I would facilitate relationship between my beautiful children that I'm trying to protect and let them speak to a murderer who killed her own daughter and her own son and her own husband and helped kill your Mr. boy wife. I'd never let my children talk to you, jackass. Yeah. She just comes back and tells me.
7 consecutive life sentences.
That lady's talking about Lori. So that's funny because I heard her clear as day.
That it can't be recorded.
Okay. Well, I'll end it here and then finish with you. Does that work?
Yeah.
That what? I'm sorry, I didn't hear any of that.
I'll end the stream and then we'll figure that out from there. How's that work?
Okay.
Okay.
Do you want me to call you back?
Let's do this.
You hear the desperation there. Do you want me to call you back? Can we keep talking? Can we have more? Can I keep spewing shit to you?
You're going to end in 40 seconds. Give me 5 minutes. Call me back in 5 minutes or something. We'll figure it out from there.
Okay.
Okay. This is going to end in 30 seconds.
Okay.
I'll say what I need to say, but we're not going to agree. And if you need me to explain that, then I'll explain it to you the best I can.
I would like you to explain that.
Okay, then I will. I'll explain it to you.
I have no problem telling you what it is. I think I talked a little bit to you guys after, but here's part 2. I don't think people even know this happened. I didn't really know how do you put it all together. Unfortunately, I got done twice. So let me give you some context. I said 5 minutes. It was not 5 minutes. It was like 25 maybe. I had already been wearing my gym tank underneath this shirt because I'm wearing the same shirt, but I was wearing that gray tank that you can see, and I put on the other shirt, and I was ready to go to the gym. I was gonna go just like get out the frustration at the gym, and anyway, she calls back, and so I basically just went back. This was 2 of 3, so this is the second part. If you have not seen it, it's about 11 minutes because the phone calls are about 15 minutes. So this is what this is right here. So this is the call that she made after. I guess it's like a part 2 or whatever. And then I'll tell you about the phone call at the end.
So you're just looking back. But if it happened in modern day time, what would happen to them? So in Revelations 12, it says that Lucifer goes to heaven, has this argument about this woman.
The same thing. The same exact thing.
Right? Comes back and sends a flood after the woman. Okay? He sends a flood after the woman. A media flood. Because that is what a media flood is. A media flood is to take her down and to take her out. And he's so pissed off at this woman that he goes after her children. What talks about? Read Revelation 12. Okay? If those things in the Bible happen in modern day, you would see what is happening now. But you don't see it because when
That was a really, really good workout. I could have PR'd that day on everything.
you see what happened back then, there was no TV, there was no Netflix, there was no social media. They didn't have all that stuff.
What does that have to do with the evidence that was presented that you keep denying? That's the problem I have. That doesn't make any sense. It's either it did happen that way or it didn't. You're right in the middle ground. You're acting like it's all just being misunderstood and misinterpreted, but it's all.
It was all misinterpreted. It was all misinterpreted.
Okay.
Correct. There is evidence that was shown that was misinterpreted 100%. Yes, I agree with that.
Okay. Well, then we're never going to get to that place then. I mean, that's as clear as I can make it. A relationship with you would be what would we even talk about? Do you know how much hurt and pain and frustration and things that I have gone through in the last few years and my own health and stuff? Like, I don't even have the time to sit here and try to pretend that this stuff is the way you say it is. So what do you want me to do with that? I don't wish harm on you, but I can't have a relationship with you. That's just not going to happen.
There it is right there. I want that to be clear just going into this conversation in general and understanding. Bitterness has bitterness. You want either revenge or you have a deep level of bitterness. What I've tried to say is, of course, I'm angry. I still get re-angry and I have to sometimes re-forgive. But in this context, the truth is having this conversation and letting things go the best you can after and not letting it harbor and sit in you is different. I'm not sitting in my life just like, I can't believe Lori did this. I don't let her have the room, but this is where I'm letting it vent. We talk about, like, what I tell you in a therapy context is like a tea kettle. You got to let the heat out. So this is when I'm letting all that stuff surface to get it out. So it's out and then it's released. It's not still bubbling and harboring. That's the difference between bitterness and not.
That you have had past goals through all that. I never have wanted that for you. You know how much I love you and have adored you your whole life. And I did not want any of this. I did not want to do this job. I did not want this to happen. I didn't want to lose my children. Do you know how hard that is on a mother?
Mimi does.
Children
Mimi knows what it's like to lose her children, but I don't feel that you lost yours out of nowhere. I think it fit into your guys' entire plan because you married a freaking.
Okay, you think after all I did for JJ and Tyler,
Yes.
it fit into my plan?
It fit into the betterment plan from your little.
You're believing the scenario and the
No,
narrative that
no,
you
I went to court. That's the
never-
difference.
Do you think I could have been happy if you had passed away?
I don't know. That's hypothetical. What does that have to do with anything? That's not what I asked.
I'm saying
Okay, so that all happens in September,
no.
and then not even 2 months later, you're in Kauai really having a hard time at the wake. You see what I'm saying? That doesn't even make any sense. What mother could be out there getting married with a professional photographer 2 months later? Come on now.
Having a hard time.
Well, you didn't look like it. You're a great actress then.
And I wanted to go with them. I wanted to go entirely with JJ. I wanted that. Chad is the only reason why I did not kill myself.
Chad is a fucking liar with a pendulum and a fucking lie. Come on. Come on, Mom. It's so stupid. I appreciate you, Ducks. Chad is a fucking liar.
What if Jesus ends up revealing to you?
I'd love to see it. I welcome it. Welcome it. Jesus Christ, please show me that Chad Daybell's a prophet and Lori's telling the truth. I welcome it on all ends. You think that I'm not afraid to be wrong. That's the problem. I've spent years praying, years suffering, years in therapy.
So I just want to make it clear.
I'm playing. I know that she's wrong is the point. I'm not afraid to be proven wrong in my life. I don't have a level of pride where if I say something wrong or I do something wrong, that I have to be right. Like I've really gotten to that place in my life. And so that's number one thing is like, if that were true, which we know for a absolute fact, God knows everyone can witness to this, that this is a lie. But playing into what she says is if there were true, I would not deny God is the point. But sometimes I feel like I wish I would have said it the way that I am telling you because it would have made more sense. But I know for a fact that she's not telling the truth. She's not at all. It's such a lie. It's just a disgusting lie. Be halfway human. And you're going to sit here and tell me Chad's a prophet? He's a fuckhead, dude. He freaking wanted to cheat on his wife with you and others. He got what he wanted. And then he disowned you. Oh, that was all part of the plan. No, it was not. He disowned you so fast. He dumped you like trash, like they did the kids. Like you all did the kids. So I don't want to hear that bullshit about him being equal to Jesus. He's a fucking liar. He is a bad liar too. Oh, you've been here for 42 lives. Oh, we were married one time. Fucking idiot. You don't come back. Where are you guys getting your information from?
Remember, this isn't on the this is on the phone, so there's no visual. I'm still staring at the phone, but I've wanted to say that for my whole life since this happened. So
it's not in the Bible, so you make up your own. Hello, deception at its finest. What are we talking about?
I get my information directly from the source, and the source of all truth.
Okay, so the source contradicts himself in his word to everyone else, but tells you different. Does that make any sense?
I'm not expecting you to understand it, honey.
Okay, well then that's a whole. So imagine me doing this. Let's flip the roles. I do this.
I have heard a lot from him directly.
Okay, let's flip it.
I understand exactly.
I couldn't even make my point.
I'm not saying that you should feel differently.
I can't even talk because that's just how this works.
I'm not here to change your mind. I am here because I want to have a relationship with you. Whatever that looks like, I am here. I will always love you. I always want to have a relationship with you. I always want to have a relationship with my grandkids. I do.
She's never met her.
They don't even know you.
They've never met her. So it's bullshit. You've never even met. You saw Riley when she was a baby. You've never even met my other kids. So
how could you have that? I don't even know you anymore. How do you think that would work?
I would like for you to facilitate that.
I don't want to. I can't even have a relationship with you anymore. So how do you want me to facilitate my little 7-year-old or my 4-year-old or my 2-year-old a relationship with their grandmother that they don't even know and call you? And then we're going to say, well, she's in jail, but we're not going to explain why. It doesn't make any sense. She's innocent, but she's just stuck in there because Satan's after her. Doesn't make any sense, dude.
Okay, what if that all ends up to be true? Aren't you going to feel bad that you kept them from me?
No, I'm not.
If it turns out to be true later,
I'm not going to
it's
feel,
gonna
no,
hurt.
I won't feel an ounce of guilt because guess what?
You're not gonna
I've
guilt
spent
me.
years doing the same thing you're saying you're doing.
Yeah, I prayed. I went to therapy. I looked at it in its totality. I don't want to hear nothing. Don't try to guilt me. Are you gonna feel so bad when you find out the truth? No. I'm not gonna feel bad. Don't guilt me that you don't get to have what you want, you narcissist ass. I've done the work. So no. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong. And God's in charge of life after that. But my job is to protect my kids above everything. Hell
That's
yeah.
my job.
I understand that, honey. I understand that.
Includes from you if I have to. And I am. They can call you when they're 18 if they want to call you.
There it is.
That's their choice.
Did I not try to protect you from all things when you were little?
That's why I'm confused. Hello?
Did I not try
What
to
happened?
protect Kylie from all things
Yeah,
when
what
you were
happened?
little? Did I not
Exactly. What happened?
Lucifer happened. That's
Lucifer's not to blame for people's actions. He can't make you do anything. He can't make things happen.
And what exactly in all of the information that you found out in court did I do physically?
Lori.
What did I do to hurt anyone?
So physically, so you're telling me pre-planning, praying death on people, planning for Charles to come over, all the things like that, then having Tylee die on the 9th, and then texting me on her fucking birthday as her was not your fault. It was Lucifer. Oh no, Lucy. I should be blaming you. It was not Lori texting me as Tylee who's murdered. It was Lucifer. He got her phone and he had her phone the whole time and lied his ass off through Lori's mouth, right? That's the problem I have. Your actions speak for themselves. What the fuck are we talking about?
Dude, come on, Colby. Come on now. I don't even talk to this like I don't talk to people like this. This was all this pent up, needed to get it out and say it to her face. You dumbass. Lucifer did not make you do anything. Lucifer can't even do that. He can't make you do anything. Not possible. Freaking Lucy's not out here committing crimes.
Did I do in all the
If you didn't put your hands on someone, you still greenlit it. Hello, that's a crime. That's murder. That doesn't matter if you put your fucking hands on someone. People get in jail for hitting someone with a car.
Did you see something that I agreed to harm anybody? Did you see something?
How about all the conversations that you had about everybody being out of their bodies and being Z's, and that you all wanted to pray death and circle after circle of praying death over Charles and JJ because they're zombies? What the fuck? Have you not read the New Testament? No one gets kicked out of their body. Hello? That doesn't happen.
Hey, did you see me say anything about that with JJ?
How about when you sent a picture of JJ in his red jammies?
Hell yeah.
How about all the coordination? Did Alex break in to get their bodies? Didn't you run away? Didn't you run out the second you found them? You didn't hold their bodies? You just let Alex come over and burn Tylee and bound JJ even though he's dead? What is he? He's going to come back to life? Who bounds a dead body? No one, ever. It doesn't happen. You think I'm fucking dumb or what?
Yeah.
That's what I feel like. I feel like you think I'm stupid. And it just...
I think that you're coming to a lot of conclusions.
It's a lot of conclusions. It's just me. I'm making stuff up. I'm making it all up. That's the deal. Conclusion of evidence. Are we going to pretend evidence is null?
How they would handle it. Okay, so how you would handle it, whether or not you would call 911, whether or not
No. You want to know what I would do? I would hold my child
in the moment.
until they had to physically pry me away from them.
Mhm.
You couldn't take them from me. If they were gone, I couldn't even let their body go. You just ran out of the house and called good old Alex uncle. Let me just transport 2 dead bodies, which is a fucking crime. Why wouldn't you call the police? Because you were running from the police. You guys were on some bullshit and you all knew it. You spoke in code and movie code, all the movies we watched growing up, because you didn't want that fucking problem. And I'm supposed to sit here and hear all that stuff and act like, oh, that's actually all just misconstrued. It was your words, Melanie Boudreaux's words. Come on. Come on.
They are all misconstrued, honey. I'm sorry.
I heard your guys' voice. That's misconstrued? That's false?
I understand how you feel.
Oh, hell
I
no.
understand how you feel from the information that you have been given, and you are given a very limited amount.
Right. But your information is, you'll see one day.
Exactly.
What a great case to go to court on. Well, you know what, guys? You'll see one day. It'll all be proven. That's what you told me 5 years ago, 6 years ago. It'll all come to light one day. But I'm not going to tell you because I can't explain my mission. My mission's too important. I don't have to explain it. But when Jesus comes back, then you'll get it. But then you're telling me, won't I feel bad when Jesus does come back and tells me that you were telling the truth the whole time, but yet there's no evidence on the other side because you see how I feel. Nothing you say is even consistent. You either are telling the truth or you're not. It doesn't make any sense. That's all I'm saying.
So the phone was still going right here. It would never hung up. It was still on like a normal phone call, but I guess it had cut out.
Are you there?
Whatever. Whatever. So here's the deal. There's one more phone call. I told you guys this the other day when we talked about this interview. And the other phone call was basically her just telling me a bunch of nothing. Same thing. And I just told her, if I never talk to you again, which I'm not planning on ever speaking to you again in my life, ever, I don't believe you. We'll never move forward. You will never know my kids, and I will never give you that, and you will never have a relationship with me or them. And I don't believe you. And I was going to tell her I'm making the documentary. I felt like maybe that would make me feel better, but she doesn't care. That's the thing. Like, that's what I'm trying to explain to people. I did not do this to make her realize things. It doesn't work. It doesn't matter. I said my piece because I said my piece. That is as simple as I can make it. And I knew that I wasn't going to be able to say everything. I knew I wasn't going to be able to get everything out that I would want to. It's years and years and years and years of pain. It's a lifetime. It goes back to being a child. There's so much more to it. But I got out what I needed to. I can live with myself for the rest of my life, knowing what I said, knowing what I did. It's off. It's off my chest. So that's why I wanted to share it with you guys, is let you know where I was at with it. Because again, I'm at a point where I'm letting all this stuff really go fully, and it's part of being healthy. It's part of moving forward in your life. But yeah, it's insane. It's an insane conversation to have with any person. If you want to study what it's like to dance around, blame shift, all of it, everything you could think of that is about not taking responsibility and not listening to a person, go watch that. It's a case study, literally. I just never realized that that's how I grew up. I never realized that that's why I felt the way I felt, and how I was so confused and didn't understand emotions, and I didn't get it because I dealt with that. Someone who's severely damaged, who wouldn't fix themselves, who wouldn't even do anything about it, will send anybody else to therapy, but not go to therapy for themselves and not put up and deal with their own shit, but blame everybody else in the world for their problems. I have the biggest pet peeve on the planet Earth for everybody who blames everybody else. It's not anybody else's fault. Your life is your life. People do shitty stuff. It's the truth. You are still responsible for your life and what you become after. There is no blaming. And we all have to make that decision. That's the decision I've had to make as well. But again, I moved on. I've moved on. And it really just shows that you can do it. So I hope that's the message of today. You can move forward. You don't have to let someone dictate how you feel, think, or spend the rest of your life. And it's a beautiful thing. I was kind of proud of some of the stuff I said, because I didn't remember what I had said to her. I watched it, I think, one time. Yeah, I watched it in sections, because I listened to the first part probably in different sections, and then I listened to the whole second part one time over. So I didn't remember a lot of what I said. It was good. Felt good. Felt good to watch me say it, because it's stuff I've always wanted to say. I don't know. That was nice. Get it out of there. Frick that.
frick all your crazy crap. I don't believe you. I'm not going to. So you got to keep moving, man. Got to keep moving. I appreciate you guys being here. I really do. Anyway, love you guys. Thank you for being here today. We're going to be doing a game stream in like the next 30 to 40 minutes over on Pop Culture Poppy. If you guys want to come join us and hang out still over there, I appreciate you're going to blow off some steam, have some fun. We are playing Skyrim. Wilbur has already beat the main quest, so we're on to a whole nother one. So we'll be doing that in just a little bit. But you guys can do all hard things. And remember, the rest of that scripture is I can do I can do all things through Christ who gives me strength. Yes, you can do all things, but you also have to lean, in my personal opinion, you have to lean on Jesus, the real one, not the made up one, not the one from The Chosen. He's a great actor, but it's not him. He's not Jesus. So thank you guys so much for everything. And again, we are still working on the documentary. It's going to happen. I appreciate every single one of you who has donated. Once we get to a point where we buy the equipment for the documentary, then the tiers and all the emails and all that stuff is going to go out to you. So we're just waiting to actually get into action before the tiers and all that stuff goes out. So I just hope you know you guys have been amazing and patient. So that's all going to happen, but I'm just waiting to actually at least get to the point where this is in production and happening. We're getting close. So thank you to all of you. Love you. Thank you for being part of this community. Have a great rest of your day.